Barakah halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Yahweh Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth through rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is Montazah Lacham. I was just giving you another video that the CARAMANIANS have remembered their true nature as that so-called Arabs or Ishmael. Okay, now before I go into that, let's go into the character of Ishmael, right? Let's go back to Genesis. All right, y'all look at Isaiah chapter 48, verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. Okay, hold on, let me see. Right? There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. Wow, that's crazy, huh? Went straight to it. I didn't even, I'm like, okay. Let me see. I think it was Wild Man. I think it's oh, it was Genesis 16. I thought it was Genesis 4. Salakia. Right? So let's go to Genesis 16. And get some context here. Okay. Genesis chapter 16, verse 6. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thine hand, do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I will flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Right? And that's basically what's going on here. The CARAMANIANS, the Persians, have entered back into their wild nature. Listen to this. I think they're on wave 40. This video was taken a day and a half ago, so I think they're on wave 40. Like I said in my previous video, you can't go against the Iranians for any extended period of time because they can build their weapons cheap, and the THAAD missile systems and the Iron Dome. Arrow 1 and Arrow 2, which supposedly is supposed to be able to protect the borders of Israel and protect Israel from long-range missile systems, have failed. They were originally designed to destroy single missiles that come in. But these missiles now, they're called cluster bombs. And these cluster bombs, they ignite in the middle of the air. And then they split from one missile to 20 missiles. So the Israeli Iron Dome would fail to protect its people because it would only they would shoot out enough defensive missiles in order to target maybe about 5, maybe 3. Hell, the other 17 bombs are going to come and hit the ground and destroy everything around it, hitting neighborhoods, houses, hospitals, schools, whatever. I mean, that's what the Israelis did to Islam, right? And that's what this is what the fuck they get. Here, look. Let me go in here. I'm gonna follow the Holy Spirit this time. The Holy Spirit told me to go here. Okay. Let's go down here and see if I can find that. Is that what? Yep. Damn. Look at that. Ran right into it. Boom. Boom. Right? Right? Hold on. World War III, right? The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Okay, that's what they're in the process of doing. Now, wait a minute, this is a plan. Okay, you got World War I, World War II, and World War III. Okay, hold on. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. And that's where the entire global geopolitical world is right now, concerning the Strait of Hormuz being closed and how it affects the world economy. Okay? They're at physical, right? Moral, right? Because the state of moral humanity of the political Zionists that rule over America has been made plain to the entire world. Okay? It's been made plain through the Epstein files. So that's showing the entire world that America being ruled over by Israel has absolutely no moral, no implications of any spiritual, physical, or any spiritual or physical morality whatsoever. Eating babies and drinking blood, what the fuck? So they're gonna try to bomb Israel out of existence. America's out of bombs. America doesn't have enough men. They're too sparsely spread out. Their military forces on fighting on so many different fronts. You're fighting North Korea. You're fighting China. You're fighting Russia. Now you're fighting Iran. Now you're fighting Afghanistan. Wait a minute. You're fucking fighting Cuba. No, wait a minute. You're fighting. I mean, come on, man. That was the same reason that the Roman Empire fell, because their military forces were too sparsely spread, too thin, okay, to control all of the rebellions that were happening in wars and skirmishes across the country and across the global South at that time, right? And the soldiers in the military weren't getting paid for their services. America's doing the same thing from within. They're shutting down the government so this way the soldiers don't get paid for their services. See? It's the same goddamn thing. And they're going to fall for the same reason. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. Right? Wait a minute. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. And we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Now listen, they just started talking about Iran has all of the Islamic Muslims in America, including individuals back in 2022, 2020, and 2021, 2023 that were illegally crossing the border in America, or legally actually under the Biden regime. Okay, so you have all of these individuals here in America, called sleeper cells, right? Let's go get a definition of sleeper cells. All right. Sleeper cells are small covert groups of agents or terrorists who infiltrate a target country, blend into society, and remain inactive sleeping for months or years before being activated to carry out acts of sabotage or violence. They are designed to avoid detection until the moment of attack. Okay? Terrorism, right? Cells waiting to be called upon to carry out terroristic attacks such as those discussed in the context of post 911 security or potential threats from foreign entities. Espionage. Trained illegal agents living normal lives while secretly gathering intelligence and cultivating relationships. Now, in that movie, Black Widow, right? That's what that was all about. Espionage, right? Okay? And they made this chick a hero of being an espionage agent, right? Now the bitch is a superhero, saving the fucking world. Get out of here, man. And that was just an example of a terroristic sleeper cell. Trained, an illegal trained agent living a normal life while secretly gathering intelligence. As far as not the Black Widow, but her parents, they were living normal lives, having a family, gathering intelligence, cultivating relationships. Right? See, deep cover agents were the daughters that went into the Black Widow program. That's just an example. Okay. So now that we understand the context of what a sleeper cell does and what it was designed to do, going back over here, we shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. Okay, let's go find out what a nihilist is. Okay, so this way we can get some context of what's being said here. Okay, nihilist. A nihilist believes that life is without objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value, rejecting established moral, religious, and social philosophy or principles. Salakia. Okay? A nihilist believes that life is without objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. They're suicide bombers, right? Oh, boom! Okay? Rejecting established moral, religious, or social principles. Key beliefs of nihilism: no object meaning. Life has no intrinsic value. So, in other words, they don't give a fuck. They'll blow their own brains out. Rejection of morality. Moral principles are baseless, and no action is inherently better than another. Right? Lack of knowledge. Ultimate truth is impossible to know or communicate. God is dead. A common theme often associated with Friedrich Nietzsche, indicating the collapse of traditional foundations for value. Existential nihilism. The argument that life is without objective meaning. Moral nihilism, and that's my point, the belief that nothing is inherently moral or immoral. Epistemological nihilism, the belief that knowledge that is impossible. Cosmic nihilism, the view that the universe is vast, uncaring, and indifferent to human existence. Active versus passive nihilism. Nietzsche distinguished between passive, accepting the lack of meaning and with despair, and active, using the lack of meaning to destroy old values and create new ones. Right? See? View on meaning of life. Nihilists generally believe that no inherent meaning exists, and attempting to find one is deluded. However, some interpretations, such as existentialism, often contrasted with strict nihilism or active nihilism, suggest that because there is no inherent meaning, individuals are free to create their own meaning. See? So, in other words, they don't give a fuck. Okay, an atheist. Let's go get a definition for atheism. Right? Uh-oh. Atheist. Atheist or atheism is the absence of belief in any deities. In other words, they don't believe in God. God is dead, right? Ranging from a lack of belief to a firm conviction that no gods exist. See? A simple lack of belief in God without a firm assertion that he does not exist. The explicit positive assertion that no deities exist. God doesn't exist. Agnostic atheism, lacking belief in gods while also believing that the existence of God is unknown or unknowable. See? Core belief, lack of supernatural belief. They have no faith. right? Hold on. Got to go get me a biblical scripture on that one. I've just popped in. Yep, sure did. Hold on. Let me get. Yep, sure did. Okay. Hold on. Just popped in there for no reason. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, by the foolishness of preaching to save them which believe. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Hamashiach crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, the power of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and the wisdom of power. Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. See? So these individuals don't understand clearly, right? 1 Corinthians 1, verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of the Most High. Right? Let's finish. And we shall provide a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. So they're going to use this formidable social cataclysm with these sleeper cells and start blowing shit up, destroying stores, going into stores, neighborhoods, police stations, fire departments, hospitals, and start just blowing shit up. A friend that I work with yesterday, he was telling me that he lives out there by off of K96, a highway here in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, where we stay. And there's an Islamic mosque over there, and it was packed all the way into the street. People were standing outside. The entire mosque was surrounded, and he said it's like that every day, from day to night. It's like the people have moved out and moved into the fucking mosque. Okay? He told me that yesterday at work. I was shook. I'm like, no shit. So they're definitely they're ramping up for something. These Islamics. I'm telling you that right now, man. Okay, I'm showing you what they're ramping up for. Okay? Then everywhere the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, right? Because everybody is stressed out right now. They don't have enough money to pay the food, to pay the bills, robbing Peter to pay Paul, getting put out in the street, losing their homes, losing their cars, getting laid off from their fucking job for no reason, being replaced by AI, right? And the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, who, because see, with the with modern day Christians, they believe that as like it says in Zechariah. Let's go get an example on that. Let's go get right, Zechariah chapter 11, right, verse 5. Let's start here at verse 4. Zechariah 11, verse 4. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right? And all of these Edomite devils, they realize that everything is falling apart because of what their ancestors have done to the children of Israel. But they hold themselves not guilty, which goes into the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 41, verses 6 through 7. Right? The children will complain of an ungodly father, for they shall be reproached for his sake. Right? It wasn't me, that was my great-great-great-grandpappy. I didn't do anything to you guys. Fuck you. You're alive. You come from their seed line. You're going to pay for it. That's how it works with the Most High. You know, for the sins of one man and one nation, the entire nation is punished. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Right? Right? Then Joel chapter 3, verse 3 says, they have They have taken sold a boy for an harlot and a girl for wine that they might drink, right? And Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is punishing these devils for putting their hands on the apple of his eye. Why? Okay, let's go over here to Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, or Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. That's why he's doing it. Okay? I will gather together all the Gentile nations which were hostile to my people and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means the Lord has judged, and there I will deal with them and enter into judgment with them there. For their treatment of my people, my inheritance Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and because they have encroached on my land and divided it up. Right? They have also cast lots for my people and have traded a boy for a prostitute and have sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Right? Are they not taking babies, like it says in the Jewish Talmud? Okay, let me finish reading this and then we're going to go into more proof. I got all kind of receipts on these crackers and this shit. You know, ain't no excuse. Right? And the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits, and a deistic spirit is an individual that has a belief in a higher power, will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing whether to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, right? They want you to worship Satan, okay? Brought finally out in the public view. And the only way that you'll be able to enter into the New World Order is that you have to make an allegiance or bow down to satanic power on the face of the earth. And the satanic power on the face of the earth is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And the only way you could enter into the image of the beast that you would be worshiping, aka you would be participating in a cashless society. Okay, now they have to bring down the old world order in order to usher in the New World Order by crashing the U.S. petrodollar system, which is the underlying currency of all the different currencies on the planet, and then usher in a new currency, central bank digital currency, making it all digital, backed by so-called gold and silver. But since America doesn't have any gold and silver, by giving it to the Amalekite Khazars, under the leadership of B.B. Makowalski, a.k.a. Satan Nothing Not a Jew, and then they're giving it to the Rothschild family. Okay? But this allows America to start over with a clean slate on debt. But then nobody wants to deal with America because they know America's ways. Okay? And they stop and cut America completely out of the global geopolitical markets as far as buying, import, and export. That's going to bring America back into the war to go back over there in Iran. Okay? And probably use thermonuclear or tactical nuclear devices. If they use these nuclear devices, the other nations are going to use the nuclear devices on America. Okay? Thereby it goes into America being hit by a thermonuclear device. Right? The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Okay? That's what they're doing. Okay? Now, let's go back over here to, okay, at one end. Misspelled the whole thing, didn't I? Damn. Wow. Okay, hold on. At one end. Jeremiah chapter 51. Salakia. Let's go up here. Okay. Okay, let's start up here. Where was I at? Right, verse 27. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 27. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, which is Turkey, Mene, and Ashkenaz, right? Appoint a captain against her. That captain is Vladimir Putin, right? Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars, right? So all of their military forces are going to be put into the so-called Middle East or the global South in order to fight and prepare to fight against the Most High. But of course, it's going to come down to a ground war, right? Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, which is the BRICS nations, and all the land of his dominion, which is the land of Gog and Magog. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. Right? Okay? To burn America off the face of the fucking earth. Okay? The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. And we just saw videos of that, of the military officer or sergeant in the Marine Corps. They broke his arm. And he was telling the wickedness and the moral, telling the world about the moral degeneration of the integrity that America has lost by bowing down and kissing and licking the boots of the Israeli Amalekites, right? The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They have become as women. Now remember, under the Biden regime, at the World Forum, all of their generals and mighty men of Babylon were wearing dresses and high heels shoes. Grown men now wearing dresses and high heeled with stockings with lipstick. Okay, going into the war room. Okay, going into the World Economic Forum. Okay. So the world has lost all respect for the integrity that they thought America had, when America never had any, right? They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and the other measure to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. And the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. Right? Now you can also go off into 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. No, verse 17, I think it is. Okay, let me see. I think it's 17. Yeah, I think it's 17. Uh-oh, boom, boom. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. Right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? So, yeah. I mean, there's really nothing they can do, man. Yep. Oh, wow. It's going to get bad, ain't it? Right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done unto them. Right? So let's go back to the video, all right, and finish watching it.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the brave and courageous personnel of the Air Force of the Army of the Islamic Republic of Iran, in a retaliatory response to the recent aggression against oil depots, which involved the use of destructive drones, launched a significant assault on the oil and gas refinery and fuel storage facilities of the Zionist regime in Haifa. Following the 33rd wave of Operation True Promise 4, the Haila Satellite Communication Center, situated just south of Tel Aviv, was completely destroyed. This facility served as one of the primary communication hubs for air bases and the fighter jets of the Zionist regime. or studied and conducted. The destructive drones of the powerful aerospace force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in a special operation struck and completely destroyed this center. Furthermore, today, the headquarters of the aggressive American army at the Harir base in the Kurdistan region was targeted with 5 missiles by the brave missile men of the IRGC ground force. Yesterday, through the diligent efforts of the Islamic combatants and the integrated air defenses operations, in addition to the destruction of a Hermes drone in Tehran, a number of cruise missiles were also intercepted in the skies of Markazi province, where the an advanced orbiter force spy drone belonging to the enemy was targeted, shot down, and completely destroyed in the skies over Isfahan province. Today, a Heron drone was intercepted and destroyed in the skies over
Yeah, it was destroyed. Okay, Donald Trump murdered this man's father by blowing up his house. Right? Murdered the man. What the fuck would you do? If this orange-colored cheese curl got the goddamn nerve to lick the boots of a fucking a pedophile and a rapist, who is a pedophile and a rapist. So you got one pedophile and a rapist, a grapist, okay, that's licking the boots of another grapist and a pedophile and a murderous thug, bloodthirsty animal, right? One animal licks the boots of another animal, right? What the fuck? All right, and then use their military forces to murder your dad, and you become the next king. What are you gonna do? You have the ability to kick their ass, would you, or would you not do it? And to honor your dad, you're gonna kill the shit out of him. Fuck it.
Iran's foreign minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi has said that Tehran was prepared to continue attacks for as long as necessary. While speaking to U.S. broadcaster PBS News, Araghchi said negotiations with the United States were no longer on the agenda. Araghchi's remark comes amid the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson saying that Tehran had refused requests for a ceasefire from countries including France, Russia, and China.
Some contacts are being held with the Islamic Republic of Iran, as you follow in the news, from China, Russia, France, and even some countries in the region are in contact with us, and other countries, both Islamic and non-Islamic ones. Some of them, yes, are actually willing to act to stop this war or establish a ceasefire. Well, this is their request and we are fulfilling it. The cessation of this war is in the hands of the Islamic Republic of Iran. This means that whenever the Islamic Republic of Iran decides for them to stop, the ultimate decision rests with the Islamic Republic of Iran in this matter, because they were the ones who committed aggression. They carried out armed attacks. We must actually stop when we can feel or have a guarantee that these aggressive actions will not happen again and that they will accept full responsibility for their own actions. These two conditions, they must accept responsibility. It's not like they'll just come today and say stop and ceasefire, and we'll say very well and it's all over. We currently hold the upper hand. Look, every single effort they have made has utterly failed. Even now, they have not achieved their objectives. The Islamic Republic of Iran has inflicted severe and painful losses upon the Zionist regime, America, and their allies. Just observe the state of the global economy and energy. This is extremely painful for them. So you see, we have delivered truly devastating blows in this regard. So we actually have the upper hand here, and that...
Okay. Did you hear what he said? They have the upper hand. Right? Second Ezra, chapter 15, Verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. Okay, they came out with cheaply made missiles in order to make the Israeli Iron Dome, the THAAD Arrow 1 and Arrow 2 systems run out of bullets in order to defend their airspace, right? So they came out with many chariots, those air drones. Those air drones are made from plastic, and they're made from wood and plastic with a propulsion engine on it, right? That's it. Most of those drones and whatnot, not drones, but the Israeli Defense Forces, they don't have anything that would be able to detect that until it's too late. See? The nations of the dragons of Arabia, okay, because Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, the United Arab Emirates joined BRICS, Turkey and Qatar are going to join BRICS as well here pretty soon, because Iran is going to continue, okay, along with Lebanon, is going to continue blowing up wherever these United States military bases are on their sovereign soil, until these other nations come to the table and agree with the CARAMANIANS, the dragons of Arabia, to destroy the infidels, aka the Zionist regime, aka the Americans. It's that fucking simple, common sense. And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, right? It's an air war that they lost, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble, right? Tel Aviv is damn near razed to the ground in just the space of a week. And they're still continuously blowing the place up, boom, 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 with no Iron Dome to protect it. Okay, verse 30. Also the CARAMANIANS raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. Remember Genesis chapter 16? Ishmael shall be a wild man, fighting against his own brothers. Okay, and his own brothers, his hand will be against his own brother, and his brother's hand will be against him, and he shall dwell amongst his brethren, right? And that's exactly what they're doing. He's using his hand against everyone in that region, and everyone in that region is against him, and he still dwells amongst his brethren. You understand? Okay. Also the CARAMANIANS raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, okay, remembering their true nature, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Now, they're also going to waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians here in America as well. Okay. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. That was my point. Okay. Then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Who? The land of the Assyrians. Then these shall be troubled bled. Who? The land of the Assyrians are being troubled bled. Donald Trump wants to negotiate for a concession. He wants to go home and patch himself up with his band-aids and then come back and fight another day. And Iran said, no, there's not going to be any peace. Like it says in Isaiah 48 and 22, there is no peace, saith the Lord, to the wicked. Right? Because they started this fight. Everybody in the world was against this fight. But America wanted to go in there anyway, listening to B.B. Makowski. B.B. Makowski was told to do this shit by the Rothschild family. Okay? They realized they done fucked up. Now it's out of their control, and it's going to continue until Israel is completely razed to the ground. Then these shall be troubled bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. America is going to back out. They're in the process of backing out of that whole area right now. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, right? They're in the process of the consumption of these American military, U.S. military bases and embassies in that area. So they're consuming some of them. And in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. And when there's going to be strife and anger and anguish amongst the kings of the Zionist regime, right? There's also fear, dread, and strife among the kings in that area of the global south. They're trying to tell Iran, stop blowing up our shit. We're all on the same side at the end of the day because we all have to live together. And Iran says, I'm going to keep blowing you cocksuckers up until you get them fuckers to fuck off from over here. Because as long as they're over here and as long as they exist, there's always going to be a problem between all of us. We move them out of the way, the problem's solved. Okay? So at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do. Behold, the clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. Right? So these devils are going to come up with the Samson option. Okay, let's go to the Samson option. Okay, let me see if I can get over here. Samson option. The Samson option. Boom. The Samson option is a deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against any country whose military has invaded. What is the Samson option? The term was popularized by Seymour Hersh's 1991 book, The Samson Option, Israel's Nuclear Arsenal and American Foreign Policy. Commentators have also employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. Right? Who has 90% of the world's nuclear weapons? Russia and the United States together possess 90% of the world's nuclear weapons, a concentration stemming from the Cold War, with both nations holding thousands of warheads each, far surpassing other nuclear-armed countries like China, France, the UK, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea. Okay? Israel is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons, though the country neither acknowledges nor denies the existence of a nuclear arsenal. So why would they, if they claim that they don't have any nuclear weapons, why would they brag about the Samson option? Okay? See, you see the hypocrisy of these bastards? The Samson option is a deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons. If they're not acknowledging or denying that they have nuclear weapons, and everybody knows that they've got nuclear weapons. That's the reason why everybody's bowing down and kissing their ass, because if they're pushed into a corner, which they have been so far, okay, that's their only option, is to use a nuclear weapon as a last resort. You see what I mean?
Therefore, the Islamic Republic of Iran will determine the end of the war.
Earlier, Donald Trump claimed that the war in the Middle East would end very soon.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to...
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
The Iranian military has also slammed Trump over his claims, even as a Wall Street Journal report claimed that Trump's advisors had urged the U.S. president to exit from the war.
Is Donald Trump seeking an exit from the ongoing war against Iran? A bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal has claimed that the U.S. president's advisors have privately urged him to look for an exit plan amid spiking oil prices and concerns that a lengthy conflict could spark political backlash.
Okay, he's getting his ass kicked. He's getting his ass kicked over there. He jumped into a fight he wasn't ready. Okay, they weren't ready for this type of fight. They just assumed that this is 1980. Okay, these people have used all of the Gulf War, all of these other different wars in the area over the last 40 to 50 years to find different ways militarily to be able to effectively retaliate against an attack from an outside force as large as the U.S. military or other forces. Okay? And they've successfully done so. And they're kicking the goddamn shit out of the Americans. Okay? So if he backs out, that's a form of surrender. He quit. Right? The Iranians win. Israel has no backing militarily. You see? Israel will be razed to the ground. America has no choice but to use a tactical nuke. Israel has no choice but to use a tactical nuke. That's going to bring World War III, and it will rage completely out of control. As I read the biblical scripture earlier in Jeremiah 51, America will be hit at one end. Thereby, that electromagnetic pulse will damage the electrical grid where it's impossible to return with lights on, with running water. Okay? Let's go get it again. 2nd Ezra. Salakia. Come on. Right? 2nd Ezra. Chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because since the Strait of Hormuz is closed, that's going to make oil prices skyrocket. When the oil prices skyrocket per barrel, okay, with the tariffs that Donald Trump has in place, that means that the national economy of the United States is going to hurt even more. Okay, a goddamn loaf of bread will cost $12. Loaf of bread will cost $20, $30 just for one loaf of bread. Can you imagine canned goods? $5, $10 a can? Okay, you're not getting a raise, you're getting laid off. How are you going to pay for this shit? Okay, that's going to cause sedition among men and invading one another. They're going to start kicking these doors in at the stores and just taking whatever the fuck they need for survival. That's going to bring in the military, but the military are forborn to fight. They don't want to be bothered because now they have to worry about their families if they make it home alive. Donald Trump is going to have to go back into that area with his and swallow his pride. Okay, it's either swallow your pride and leave with your tail between your legs, or stick up with your chest out and issue the national draft. That means all of these teenagers, all of these college students that were trying to push for a better life, okay, going to school for these student loans, are going to have to be drafted into the military in order to get student loan forgiveness. In order to be told a lie to ensure the providence of America. That's the plan. But it ain't gonna work. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Right? Verse 24. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. I just explained everything to you. Okay? All right? That is the beginning of Jacob's trouble, the beginning of sorrows. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and shall see my salvation and the end of your world. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. He that's going to be saved are those that shall escape the great tribulation. Whosoever remaineth from all these, remember, and shall see my salvation and the end of your world. Verse 26, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Now, going back into the heart of the inhabitants shall be turned into another meaning. You could go from there straight into 1 Corinthians. Where is that at? Chapter 15, right? Verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. What does it mean, not all sleep? Some of us are going to be put to death during this time. Okay? This great tribulation, Jacob's trouble. Right? Some of us are going to be put to death. Let's go prove it. Luke chapter 19, verse 43. Right? For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. Right? Like I said earlier in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And the only way you're not going to be able to go into any city is due to the implementation of martial law. Right? Okay, and if anybody doesn't know what martial law means, I will go into that. Boom. I'll go. Come on. Oh, there it is right there. Boom. Martial law is the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian government, typically enacted during war, okay, rebellion, or natural disasters to maintain order. It involves suspending civil liberties, which means the suspension of the Constitution, imposing curfews, and using military courts, often restricting rights like habeas corpus and free movement. It is a last resort measure requiring extreme necessity. Okay? That's crazy, huh? But that's where we're at, man. Verse 44, and shall lay thee even with the ground. And the only way they can lay you even with the ground is to shoot you down like a dog. Right? And thy children within thee. Right? And your children. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai sent forth his servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending, but the people would not hearken, nor would they hear, have an ear to hear. What is it? 2 Chronicles 36 and 16, I think it is. Right? Let's start at verse 15. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 15. And the Lord their God, this is the time of your visitation. And the Lord your God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, right, the prophets, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place, which are his inheritance, which are his people, right? But they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy. Okay? And that is the no remedy. Okay? No remedy. Ain't no remedy for that shit. Right? They cast a trench about you through martial law, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. They got choke points. that you can't get in and out of your neighborhood without you having some digital ID. And the only digital ID that that are being made reference to is this. Okay, it's either got to be one or the other. This is the mark of the beast. The radio frequency identification micro C-HIP, the size of a grain of rice, through the index and forefinger you see to your left of the screen, okay, that they want to implement and subcutaneously implant underneath your skin. Then you have the Elon Musk Neuralink brain chip, where you can access the internet with your mind. Okay? So, that's where you're at, man. Okay? Just got to put it out there for you. Got to lay it out there. And shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. See? So, let me go ahead and get off of this video. I've been on here too long.
Spark political backlash. While speaking to reporters in Florida, Trump had claimed that the U.S. military had mostly achieved its goals.
So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule.
The lion snake, you're getting his ass kicked.
I help them. Will I help them? I'd like to.
You would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of
Will
the
I
people?
help them?
Betrayal of
Will
the
I
people?
help them? I'd like to, if they can behave. But they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great. I'd love.
You know, this motherfucker knows exactly how to blow smoke up your ass to make you feel good. Do you understand me? He knows exactly what to say, how to say it. He is a master craftsman at bullshit. This guy is a bullshit artist. This guy is the type of individual that to look you in your face and stab you in the back at the same goddamn time. Let me go give me a biblical scripture that's going to prove that right now. Or is that, okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 13. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing when thou hearest these things awake in thy sleep. Right? Okay, what was this? I think it's here. Nope. I think it's 12, right? Hold on. No, it's not 12. What is that? Is it 13? Or is it Wisdom of Solomon? I can't remember now. Damn. Oh, here it is. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Okay? The envious man hath a wicked eye, he turneth away his face, and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Right? So, yeah. I mean, man, come on, man. These motherfucking devils, man, they can't be trusted. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to remember. Is it? I thought it was 13. No. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is 13. Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13. Verse 3. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also. And that's exactly what he was just talking about in that press conference. Okay. You know, the people want the poor that were wronged recompensed, and he tells you that he's going to continue to threaten them. He knows he's done wrong, but shit, what can he do? If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right? Now, then there never would have been a war in Iran to start with if they didn't have anything that they could use for their profit. Right? If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yep, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope, and he will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Right? And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head. Now, right. Oh, now they went and tried to make a peace agreement with Iran twice. And twice, while they were in negotiations, America attacked them. Right? Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. Okay? If thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much more will he invite thee. Right? Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back, and stand not afar off, lest thou be forgotten. Okay? Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Okay? And that's exactly what these motherfuckers are out to do, man. I mean, if that ain't what these devils are doing, man. Okay? Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, right? So the Iranians said, no, ain't no more peace talks. And believe not his many words, for with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee he will get out thy secrets. Come on, man. Gold and silver. What is that one? I think it's in Isaiah. Hold on. Right, there it is. Okay, let's start up here. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. And that's about to happen. You know, when martial law takes place, all of these individuals that have a visa, okay, they're going to flee into their own land, man, willingly. They're going to get the fuck out of here when they start seeing people being exterminated. The Asians, everybody that came here to make money, and they see they can't make money anymore and they're spending money, they're going to start leaving. Okay, they're not going to put that in the mainstream media. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Right? That's going to be rebellion. So that's going to be an uproar of the people. So they have to implement martial law in order to quell the civil unrest. Okay? And they're going to so-called temporarily do this and then force you to take the radio frequency digital ID. See? Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows shall dash the young men to pieces, right? So in the wars, in these wars, they're going to lose their husbands. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of their womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? So, yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty much over with. Okay, and nothing these devils can do about it now. It's damn near too late. Okay, where was that other one? 2 Ezra 16. and 29, I think it is. Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. Right? You can't travel because, like it says in 2nd Ezra 15, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law. Verse 33, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And, there's going to be a lack of men, okay, because they're all going to be forced to go into the military, right? In order to go into the great meat grinder and all of these different wars that they have going on. Ukraine versus Russia, China versus Taiwan, the North and South Korea, let's see, over in mostly in Israel, you see, right? In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Right? Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth slay slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Okay? And this is the last exhortation, what the Lord's telling us. O my people, hear thy word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rahawah Kakadash. Shalom.